Okay, so I added some more artwork to my Bible study book. I showed y'all the other day the back of my book where I have my faith and works tree, my breath of life lungs, and my fruits of the Spirit. And I also have the Great Commission scripture written right here. Probably should have put it somewhere where you can see it better, but it's definitely there. Anyways, I was just really trying to figure out what I wanted to put on the inside, and it's not done. It's not done. But I just like kind of come across scripture, and then when a visual comes to my mind, I Google the visual that I have to try to help me get more ideas, because I'm not like one of those. I'm not the artist that can like draw something from her brain. I need like a reference to look at and to recreate in my own way. And so, what I did on the inside was I did the Sermon on the Mount. So I did Jesus and a couple people that of him preaching and Sermon on the Mount, and then next to that I did the Beatitudes, because that is what Jesus talked about in the Sermon on the Mount. And then I also read scripture in Ephesians about the armor of God, and so I made a little knight. It's so cute, wearing the armor of God, and I'm going to show you. This is my Sermon on the Mount. Look at him. Look at Jesus telling all the people the things they need to know. And these are all the Beatitudes, bullet pointed with little bees. I don't know. I thought it was cute. And then this is my armor of God knight. He's got the sword of the Spirit, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the belt of truth, the shield of faith, feet for the gospel of peace, and the scripture where you can find this is Ephesians 6:10 through 18. And then today, I asked ChatGPT, what is the significance of the second half of Exodus? Like, why all of these measurements in there, and why do I have to read about it? Like, what is important about this? And once I learned what the importance was, I also put that down here. I should probably write somewhere that this idea came from me, because I was confused what the last part of Exodus was about. I really just kind of explained that God cares about the little details of our lives. I should probably put that in there, because my hope is that one day somebody who is interested, or whoever I feel called to give this book to, I can hand it over to them, because it's full of lots of good notes from the Bible and my perspective and what I got from those notes. And then it's also filled with pieces of scripture, because I know that sometimes reading the Bible I think that people look at like the really, what's the word, maybe formal versions of the Bible, where it's like thou and what, all those fancy words. And I think they're intimidated, and they're like, the Bible's too hard, I don't want to read it. But actually the Bible is full of a lot of actually very fun stories to read, very action-filled stories. And maybe if somebody is inspired by a little bit of like cute artwork, they'll be like, oh wow, that's very interesting, I want to read that scripture and read everything that it says. Oh wow, I want to read about the Sermon on the Mount. What happened? How did God prepare for that? Or Jesus, what did they do? I don't know. But this has become one of my probably favorite things that I've been working on now. I want to put more art in it, so I've got to figure out something for this blank space. I've thought about the 10 Commandments, but for whatever reason, it's not feeling like it belongs right here. I feel like I need more space for that. Probably going to put the 10 Commandments right here. Y'all ignore this. This is just I wrote down my workouts. But I'm going to paint over that, and I want to maybe put the 10 Commandments there. If you have any ideas, let me know.